In the world of classic Hollywood tough guys, few names stand out like Charles Bronson and James Garner. Both were icons of their time, Bronson with his steely silence and rugged anti-hero image, and Garner the charming, quick-witted star loved for his roles in Maverick and The Rockford Files. While fans have long wondered whether the two legends ever clashed or bonded, Charles Bronson stayed mostly silent about his true feelings toward James Garner. Now, years after both actors left behind their cinematic legacies, the truth has finally emerged. Charles Bronson, known for his powerful presence in films like Death Wish, The Magnificent Seven, and Once Upon a Time in the West, rarely gave interviews. He was a man of few words, preferring to let his performances speak for him. In contrast, James Garner was warm, approachable, and engaging in public, quick to crack a smile or share a humorous story about his time in Hollywood. Their screen personas couldn't have been more different, but what was their relationship really like behind the scenes? For the longest time, rumors circulated about tension between the two, mostly due to their starkly contrasting approaches to filmmaking. Bronson was intense, disciplined, and often completely absorbed in his work. Garner was relaxed, spontaneous, and famously easygoing. But as it turns out, their differences weren't the source of a feud. Instead, they led to an unexpected respect. In a rare, recently unearthed interview, Charles Bronson opened up about his thoughts on James Garner. Surprisingly, his words were nothing short of sincere admiration. "Jimmy was one of the few actors in this business who never had to prove anything," Bronson shared. "He didn't act tough. He just was who he was, and he did it better than most of us." Bronson went on to talk about the film, The Great Escape, where both men shared the screen in 1963. While Bronson played the claustrophobic tunnel digger, Garner portrayed the charming scrounger, known for bartering and bluffing his way through the German prison camp. The contrast in their roles reflected their real-life relationship. Bronson worked silently and intensely, while Garner used humor to ease the tension on set. One story stood out in Bronson's recollection. During filming, Bronson was known to keep to himself, eating lunch alone and rarely engaging in small talk. Garner, ever the genial star, once walked up to Bronson and said, "Hey Chuck, you ever think about smiling? Might scare the guards." Bronson didn't crack a grin, at least not then. But years later, he admitted that it was one of the few moments he caught himself laughing alone in his trailer. Despite never being best friends in the Hollywood sense, Bronson and Garner shared a mutual understanding. Both were World War II veterans. Both came from working-class backgrounds, and both built their careers through hard work, not privilege. Bronson later said, "There's a lot of people in this business who act like they're real. Jimmy didn't have to act. He was the real deal. Even off-camera, their respect remained." When Garner wrote his memoir, The Garner Files, he spoke warmly of Bronson. Garner praised Bronson for his discipline, but admitted they didn't socialize much. He kept to himself, and I respected that. Not everyone needs to be a talker. Charles Bronson, usually guarded, acknowledged this too in his private reflections. "Jimmy never tried to change me. That's why I liked him. We were different, but that's what made it work." Now that Bronson's words are finally made public, the world sees a side of these Hollywood legends that was previously tucked away. Not rivalry, not resentment, but quiet respect between two very different men who defined an era. In the end, Bronson's silence wasn't fueled by dislike, it was built on mutual admiration. And in a world full of loud voices, sometimes the quietest truths are the most powerful.